Hey, this is Jaszy with modernhippiemag.com, your online source for hip, healthy, conscious green living. Once again, we're in the kitchen with Natalia of Glowing Temple, where we're learning how to create wonderfully raw food. But today we have something really, really yummy, and it's what? What are we making today?
Today we're making a pretty parfait.
Parfait, as in dessert?
Absolutely.
Okay, how do we get started?
All right, well, pretty easy. We're gonna make a couple different components, and then we're gonna layer it up with fresh fruit. I love to have fruit desserts in the summer, something really juicy and kind of refreshing, a little bit lighter. So let's get going.
Okay, so what are some really good, nice fruits that we're gonna be using?
Today we're using strawberries and kiwis. I love that combination, but you can really use anything. You know, whatever you have ripe, what's available locally at your farmer's market, organic, whatever you like. So we're gonna start by making our vanilla cream, and he's excited. We're gonna use macadamia nuts for the base, and I've soaked these for about 4 hours. It's really important with most of your nuts and seeds that you wanna soak them first before using them.
Okay.
That's gonna get rid of any of the enzyme inhibitors, which will wash off when you rinse them, and then you can really digest them a lot easier.
So is that any particular nut that you're using you want to soak, or is it just the macadamia?
Pretty much all nuts. From the research that I've done, Brazil nuts do not have enzyme inhibitors, but most nuts, you know, and seeds as well, sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds, you want to do that. So we're going to use 3/4 of a cup of soaked macadamia nuts. Okay. Put those in our bowl. Then we're going to add 3 ounces of water. That'll help blend it up really smooth. We have 2 tablespoons of raw honey.
Yummy.
Sweeten it up there.
That's the good stuff.
Absolutely. And I'm using my favorite blender, the Vitamix. You do want to use a higher powered blender for when you're blending nuts into a cream. It's just going to help to have a really nice smooth consistency
But now
without
if
texture.
I don't have a Vitamix, say I have a regular blender, what setting is best to work with the nuts?
Definitely the highest you can do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have a Vitamix yet.
Sure, and it'll do it. It's just gonna have a little bit of texture, but if you're not picky, no problem.
Yeah, it's all going down the same thing.
Totally. I also scraped the seeds from a vanilla bean, and I showed you on when we made the banana ice cream how to do that, so I just did it ahead of time. So we're gonna blend that up. What I love about the Vitamix is this tool. If anything kind of stops moving, you have a little tool to help you, and it won't hit the blade. All right, let's go. The final touch to the vanilla cream is coconut oil, and that way if you refrigerate it, it'll firm up a little
Oh,
bit.
nice.
Yeah, so we're just gonna add that. I'll just start the blender on low, and I'll just add it. I like to add it last because sometimes in these higher powered blenders you have some temperature changes, and sometimes the oil will separate. It won't emulsify properly, so I like to do them at the end. All right, perfect.
So you're watching for the consistency to make sure everything is really nice and crunched up and mushed up, and the consistency is really smooth.
Exactly, you want to make sure, and you can listen too. You don't want to hear any of the nuts hitting the blade. Once that's done, you know it's nice and smooth. And then we'll set it aside while we make our other layers. So let's get going on our pecan crunchies. That's a really fun part. You can even make this, make it for a snack. Again, we're gonna start with honey. We have 2 tablespoons of honey. And then we're gonna spice it up a little bit with a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon.
Ooh, yummy.
And I love to give these kind of like, you know, a honey roasted kind of taste. So I add a little bit of salt for that sweet and salty.
Oh, okay.
You know I love salt on my desserts.
That's a little pinch.
To your taste. Okay, so we'll mix that up.
Like a little bit of a paste.
Exactly. I have this really nice Vietnamese cinnamon. It's really strong, but so yummy.
Love the cinnamon.
Yeah. So that looks perfect. And then I have the pecans, and I started with a cup, and then I chopped them by hand. You can do this in the food processor, but it's really not necessary. You do want to keep some texture. You know, I have some larger pieces in here. That's going to be our crunch.
All the nuts, pecans are my favorite.
Oh yeah.
Just they have that buttery sweetness.
Oh, so good for desserts. So I'm gonna mix this up, and then do you want to add that coconut for me? I have a 1/4 cup of coconut, and once we start to get the nuts coated, that's gonna be our final touch. And then, as I mentioned before, if you have the time, it's really great if you can soak these pecans for 4 to 6 hours and then dehydrate them for like 12 to 24, depending on kind of where you live. It's really humid here, so it usually does take me 24 hours.
Is it too much to soak them overnight?
It's not too much, but you'd want to do that in the fridge. And it's interesting, you kind of have to do your homework because different nuts require different times. Like an almond is really hard, and it takes a little bit longer to get those enzyme inhibitors out, so that's a 12-hour soak.
Oh.
Okay, perfect. You can add that for me, and I'll just keep mixing. So that'll just kind of coat so these aren't so sticky. So yeah, now we have all our components for the parfait. We can get to layering.
I could see
But
that
you can-
like, on top of oatmeal even.
Totally. That would be so good.
My goodness.
You're more than welcome to try one if you want.
Okay.
I
That's
love
good
them.
already.
Right.
You don't have to add anything else. That's good.
Well, let's make one up and see what you think.
Okay.
So I've sliced some strawberries, and like I said, you can use whatever you want, but I started with a couple of cups of strawberries, and then I have, this will serve about 4 people, so you do about a kiwi per person and about a 1/2 cup of strawberries per
You mean
person.
you're 4 people, not my 4 people.
Let's see, we're gonna get pretty tall.
Okay.
So we'll do about a 1/4 cup in the bottom of the strawberries, and then we'll top it with some kiwi. You can just have fun with this. I mean, you don't have to follow these layering instructions by any means. It's just, you know, kind of what I did, and I
Well,
like
it
to
looks
share.
pretty. I mean, you have the bright colors, so you can kind of jazz it up that way.
Totally. Then we'll go with some of our cream. So we'll do about 2 tablespoons. And we'll do a nice serving of this, about a 1/4 cup. That's really gonna add a nice texture to this. So you have your soft fruit, and then the cream, and then it's crunchy. And then we're gonna do it again.
Okay.
Like I said, tall.
So excited.
And we'll top it off with cream, and then the rest of it will kind of be garnishing. Pretty strawberries for the top. And then of course, more crunchies. So there we go. That's it.
So, beautiful work of art, extremely healthy, fresh fruits, there's no dairy, there's no cooking.
No.
I love it.
Totally easy.
Love it,
fast,
love it, love it.
delicious.
So, we have to sample.
Yes, have a bite.
Is it as good as it looks? Let us see.
Well, I'm biased, but you tell me.
Yes, please. This is awesome. Imagine if you had it in the refrigerator and it was just had that little bit of frost to it.
Definitely.
This is delicious. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Once again, we've had a wonderful time with Natalia. We're learning how to make really healthy raw foods, especially desserts. And I'm looking forward to next time. Thank you. And
You're
thank you for
welcome.
visiting with us once again.
Thank you.